Voilà.
They will love you. Ron, you can taste back.
Northern Symphony.
Just like the...
Cool. Anything?
Souhaite se baser sur des seuils d'exposition pour radiation, mais selon l'avocat de la veine, Jean-Paul Tesson.
Hey James. We here at GetLaid.com have noticed that your relationship status is single. Would you like to meet hot girls in your area? Don't try and close this browser when I am talking to you. James, are you lonely, James? 25 and still single, why is that? Are you happy? Click on my face to meet hot girls in your area. Are you lonely? Click on my face. Do you like girls in uniform? Are you happy? You can't be really. Your relationship status says single. You are alone. You are alone. You can't be happy and alone. Click on my face. Click on my face. Click on my face.
How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel?
Bill was already crumpled in his seat when I arrived. His shirt was slightly grey and unironed. Their sales team thought that his wife had thrown him out again, while most of programming thought that his wife hadn't taken him back after the wine bottle incident. Bill's eyes were red. It could have been his wife, or the result of a further wine bottle. I was going to ask him how he managed it, but Tim had entered. Tim smelled of brute. He said it was ironic. I asked him how a smell could be ironic and that he must have meant chronic. Tim glared at me and started reading the comment section of The Guardian. Bill counted the change in his pocket. I started wondering if Tim had meant moronic and whether I should say something. Finally, Harry entered and we could start. Harry stood at the end of the table, but I then realised that I'd never seen him sit down. I started wondering whether this was a result of a knee injury that he obtained in the Falklands, or chronic piles that he obtained in the Falklands, or if he had ever been to the Falklands, and should I re-raise the ironic, chronic, moronic issue with Tim? The meeting had started, and I had missed Bill's presentation, but all the arrows on his chart were red, wobbly, pointing downwards. Harry sullenly popped a cigar into his mouth. Tim started to reel off the laws on smoking in the workplace. Harry removed the cigar and threw it at Tim. He took up mournfully snapping his red braces. Tim thought the braces were a nice touch, in keeping with the 80s revival. Harry wasn't aware there was an 80s revival. Harry said that the channel needed new content, which I took to mean stuff. Bill suggested we could move into adult programming, while Tim turned into a kettle. Bill had to explain that he meant covering adult disappearances, and when Tim had unkettled, he agreed that this could perform a valuable public service. Harry winced and reminded everyone that it was missing kids TV, not missing Tom, Dick and Harry TV, and that it was the kids that get the press in a frenzy and the viewers tuning in. Tim mentioned the public service benefits again, so Harry threw another cigar at him. It was much more interesting back when they were lit. Tim persevered. He said that we could get a slice of the license fee if we could prove we were offering a vital public service. Bill warmed to this, as it would make his job easier. Tim suggested we could easily rebrand and relaunch the channel, and that everybody was at it. He suggested changing the channel's name to just Missing. Bill looked at the thesaurus on his BlackBerry and suggested Gone Astray TV. Harry was going to throw another cigar at Tim, but was beginning to run out of them. He said he'd spent years building up Missing Kids TV and he wasn't going to throw it all away, and that what we really needed was another Maddie. Tim became a kettle again and stood up and was going to leave, but remembered that he was already behind on his mortgage payments and that Dave hadn't had a job since he punched a reindeer at the big light switch on last Christmas. He pirouetted and sat back down. Bill said that we couldn't sit around and wait for another Maddie. I said, what if we were a bit more proactive? Tim looked like he just suddenly pooped his pants. So did Harry, but in a good way. I said that we could hire a child actor to pretend to go missing. We would have exclusive coverage and we would be the first to break it nationally, if not internationally. Tim spat that it was morally apprehensible. Harry agreed. He said that Ofcom would go mental and explained that we couldn't go around lying to viewers anymore, not after the premium phone line scandals. I said maybe we could hire someone to snatch a child on our behalf, although we would have to vet him. Or her, Bill chipped in. Harry erupted in glee. Yes, he cried, it's a win-win. It'd be real, yet under our control. Tim pirouetted twice and sat down. I said that the child would need to come from a big family because it would be easier to pull off than taking an only child. Bill supposed that this would mean families from the lower socio-economic groups, C2DEs and so forth. Harry agreed that they were better in police media conferences as they broke down more dramatically and screamed more, but the only snag was that they needed a cute kid and explained that it was all in the eyes. Tim started resembling Mrs. Winter's cat when I strangled it as a boy. Bill countered that there were some attractive poor people, but it would take some research. Talk turned to who we could hire to do the kidnapping. It was decided that it would be too dangerous to get outside parties involved, so I volunteered to do it. And that is why you're staying with me now, Abby, okay? Night-night. Okay, do you want me to leave the light on? It says in Bill's notes that you have it on most nights. Is that right? No, you have to nod or shake your head. Okay, try and get some sleep.
What's my name? Tell me, honey. I can't confine it. Tell me, baby. What's my name? Tell you one time.
A chronic or persistent disorder of the mental processes marked by memory disorders, personality changes, impaired reasoning, etc. due to brain disease or injury.
Cycle. Any form of insanity characterized by the failure or loss of mental powers, the organic deterioration of intelligence, memory, and orientation.
The progressive decline in cognitive function due to damage or disease in the body beyond what might be expected from normal aging. Dementia is far more common in the geriatric population.
Well, now it's that time of year. The Reverend Nicholas Holton presents the Radio 4 Christmas Appeal on behalf of St Martin in the Fields, the church in Trafalgar Square that offers shelter to homeless people.
Well, I have a confession to make. I'm not actually the Reverend Nicholas Holton. He's tied up somewhere, but he's fine. He's fine. There's no real problems, and I'm not talking on behalf of his charity. I'm here to appeal on behalf of my friend Zlatan and the many others that are like him. Zlatan was born into the turmoil of post-communism Russia. The country and its people struggled to adjust, but it revelled in its newfound freedom. Ever since the Bolshevik Revolution, Zlatan and artists like him were harried and discouraged from performing as they were seen as carcinogens and symptoms of the bourgeoisie. With the fall of the wall, the limelight that was snatched away was theirs to take again. Or so they thought. With the opening up of Russia's borders came not only democracy, capital and nice shoes, but also interfering charities with no understanding of the complex culture of Russia. The Worldwide Fund for Nature declared that it was cruel and morally abhorrent for Zlatan to be allowed to dance. Born Free said that it was against Zlatan's nature, but Zlatan is a dancer first and foremost. It's in his blood. It is his nature to dance. And don't get me started on what Rolf Harris said. The Antipodean. Zlatan, and many performers like him, have been banned from doing what they were born to do. That is why there is now a charity to fight for their rights. So if you've ever felt the cold hand of injustice, if you can put yourself in their shoes, you can understand the importance of our cause. So please support Let the Bears Dance by ringing 09098 790 097. That's 09098 790 097. Or you can visit our website www.letthebearsdance.org, and that's all one word. Please give what you can. Thank you. And Nicholas will be out shortly.
You can find all the details for this Christmas appeal on the Radio Times, on CFAX page 659, and on the Radio 4 website. And remember, the lines are open now. Well, now let's hear about the weather from Daniel Corbett.
When the sky is cloudy, your pretty music will brighten the day. When the sky is cloudy, you come along with a song right away. Come with your beautiful music, drip, drip, drop, little April shower, beating a tune as you call. Drip, drip, drop, little April shower, what can compare with your beautiful sound? Drip, drip, drop, when the sky is cloudy, you come along with your pretty song.
Hello. I've been sat on this bench for 3 days now. 3 days straight. And at 23 centimetres, you are the closest anyone has sat to me. And so, you're in first place. And you have a very strong chance of winning this orange. Very strong chance. I'm only going to be here for another 2 days, but you're in first place. If you could give me some contact details, I can say give you a ring. If you give me a telephone number to let you know if you've won. Now you're in 14th place, at about 50 centimetres. You don't want this orange. Oh, goodbye. Oh, sorry. Could I have a name for the list? Even if you don't want the orange, I can't. I'm still making the. I'm still counting. Hello.
tonight?
I'm so full I could burst. I like your new dress.
The youth club leader's got another car. That's 3 they've got. I bet he won't lend us this one.
Well, I suppose you could always have an abortion.
Fell out of love with the church. He fell into love with the cinema. Jesus had Weetabix breakfast.
How would you know that, huh?
Tell me then, cozy, smug people, do you want me to congratulate you for loving those who love you, eh? Eh? Eh?
The seal, he seems to have gone quiet. I wondered what's happened to him.
He went to Chievo in Italy. This is Kerlon, the footballing seal.
The key to relaxation. It's taking pills or having a quick gin and tonic.
From that point of view, I basically think those
taking pills or having a quick gin and tonic. Taking pills or having a quick gin and tonic. Taking pills or having a quick gin and tonic. Taking pills or having a quick gin and tonic. Taking pills or having a quick gin and tonic.
Put the Stockhausen on again. At least then I knew why I was miserable.
Las Vegas and its pantheon of casinos and dancing girls, neon lights and Elton John, I'd expected a contrast, a physical manifestation, say, of the differences between the two states. But no, all I find is a mute welcome sign before the great Salt Lake Desert stretches out before me. Utah was frontier country, far removed from the interferences of Washington, from its establishment by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or Mormons as they are more commonly known as, up to and including its joining of the Union in 1896. After a couple of wars, Utah has kept a healthy distance from the rest of the country and worn its differences with pride. But something has blown in from the west and threatens to shatter this utopia of moral fibre and certitude. This is no rogue broadcast or pioneering newspaper proprietor. It comes from the heavens and cannot be easily avoided. Unfortunately for the sensitive residents of Utah, for the past few months the sky has been occupied with clouds that have, without fail, been clustering into shapes which can only be described as gigantic cotton balls. There has been much talk about what the cause of this relentless parade of pearly todgers in the sky is. Some blame the immoral shenanigans of Las Vegas and San Francisco in particular to the west, emitting their wicked fumes and influence in the sky. With sensitive eyes now rooted firmly to the ground, the state is reduced to an awestruck and shocked silence, save for the rumblings and murmurings of apologies as the citizens of Salt Lake City walk into each other constantly for fear of looking up. And it's not only the sidewalks that have been affected here by the bump and scrapes of the puritanical. There has been a threefold increase in traffic accidents as certain members of the Mormon faith refuse to even open their eyes while outdoors. Some members of the public out in Dixie in the southwest of the state have decided to take direct action and confront the clouds. Almost always old, some may say senile, they have taken to shouting at the clouds to move along and get out of my sky. It may not be the most effective method, but that is all Utah has to fight these clouds for the time being. I head to the Civic Center to meet Utah's senator, only to be met by a small yet fierce group of activists protesting about the absence of vagina-shaped clouds. One of the protesters, Rose Langdon, a young art student at the university, who claims the clouds are a reflection of the continuing male domination of American culture, and that only when we have a sky filled with genitalia of all shapes and sizes will there be true equality between the sexes. I eventually make it inside to meet Senator Billiam J. Ploy, a former car salesman and preacher who has been in office on and off for nearly 30 years. Senator Ploy, in his early 60s, has a blustery sort of charm. My hand still smarts a little from the crushing handshake he greeted me with. From his tidy headquarters, he has searched long and hard for a solution, the large windows providing a constant catalyst for this. He has vowed to channel his own money into research for a cloudbuster machine, as these tough economic times mean there is little additional funding to be had from Washington for such a project. The Pentagon apparently laughed away and then stopped answering Senator Ploy's phone calls. But it could all be too late, for a palpable fear has started sweeping the state of Utah, for as these floating snowy bellends continue day by day to increase in size, and as the cloudy balls continue to grow larger and darker, the fear is what hell, this evil precipitation, will bring.
Threatening to crash.
Please scan your next. Please select your payment method. Please insert your credit or debit card. Please enter your PIN on the keypad below. Please take your card and your receipt. We had noticed you had bought multiple items from our lovely packaging range. Please accept this voucher, redeemable on your next visit to this or any other of our 20,000 stores. Have a nice day. Please scan your first item. Please scan your first item. Please scan your first item. Please place the items in the bagging area. Oh. Please scan. Place. Please. Oh dear. Please scan your next item, sir. Please select your payment method. Please note this machine does not accept coppers or IOU notes.
What?
You have selected credit card, are you sure? Please enter your PIN on the keypad below. Please take your card and your receipt. We had noticed you had bought multiple items from our value range. There has been a spillage in aisle 4. You will find the mop and bucket in the
What?
cleaning station located
No,
behind
you can't be
me.
serious. No.
Listen, peasant, if you would like to continue paying 15p for your tins of baked beans, then you are going to have to start doing things for us.
Bullshit!
Security.
George loved his teeth. The shape of them, the feel of them, the sound they made. Not a lot of other people did though, but he did, and that was all that mattered. George was not best pleased when they started falling out. He cared not if Morg were in their place like his mum assured him they would. He liked his first teeth. But, rather reluctantly, George had to leave them under his pillow, as he thought that was the law. After a couple of days of nothing happening, he told his mum of his concerns. Next morning, a 50p piece appeared. George had his suspicions, but thought better of it. He put the 50p into his jar. George's mum wouldn't allow him to have a pig bank. He once asked why, but had forgotten what she said. George needed time to think, but knew he couldn't fight whatever it was that was causing his teeth to fall out, until that 50p was joined by a few more. George had less time than he thought. Only 4 days later he lost another one. Well, he didn't lose it because he still had it, but it wasn't in his mouth, let's just say that. George started with a Pritt stick that he borrowed from class, but that was never going to work. He thought superglue might, but his mum wouldn't let him have any, and he couldn't think where to get any either. The same thing scuppered George's cement plan, and even George thought his magnet idea was pretty daft. George then had his eureka moment. What was sticky? What was sweet? This only became an issue after the Pritt stick affair. What was in the corner shop? What could he buy with no problems? And what could he get for less than 50p? And so George nearly skipped all the way to Mr. Hussein's, but remembered that he wasn't a girl. Safely back in his room, he opened the toffee. He tore off a little bit, stuck it to the bottom of the tooth, which was still under the pillow, and wedged it in the gap in his mouth. He tried, he really tried, but it tasted really nice. He ate the toffee, not just the bit in his mouth, but he started on the rest of the packet, and then he started feeling quite queasy, as you can imagine. And then, some of his teeth started feeling wobbly. George does not like his new teeth, but his jar is looking
That's it.
Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.